Hello, everyone. If you can hear us, see us, then it means that you've joined us for the February edition of the Launch and Learn hosted by Lagos Angel Network. I'd like to know that you're there. Ooh, 10 people already. Wow. Let me know where you're joining us from. Thank you so much for coming through. Um, Use the chat button, the live chat, and let's know that you've joined us from what part of what city. And then in the meantime, you can share the video, you can share the page, you can share the live stream to everyone you think needs to be here today. It's Lagos Angel Network's Launch and Land. Thank you so much for coming through. Dr. Tunde, I see you. Welcome. Yeah, thank you all for being here today. This is the February edition of Lunch and Learn. And Lunch and Learn is our flagship monthly program where we learn together about angel investing. And as you can see from my background, the program is hosted by Lagos Angel Network. LAN, Lagos Angel Network, is one of Africa's leading early stage investment communities. We bring together high stake, high net worth investors who are interested in Africa's early stage businesses. And we intend that all startups get all the support that they can. And so we consistently work to educate, recruit, and make more people interested in angel investing. Three core verticals around our work is make more people know and be interested in angel investing, recruit them to become angel investors, but beyond that, educate one another in the practice of angel investing, which is why we have this program today. It's one of the several things that we do. Somebody asked me earlier today, says, Dr. King, do you sleep? You seem to be all over the place, wanting land to be in everybody's face. And I say, exactly. I want that the whole world knows that there is an angel network out of Lagos that is supporting startups, that is educating angel investors, but more importantly, growing the African economy through entrepreneurship. So, on the program today, we will be discussing a very salient issue. It's around how do you determine what startup to back as an angel? And so this is a very important conversation for angel investors and even the founders, and again for the whole ecosystem at large. We're looking at what makes a founder investable, what makes another founder not fit, and what are the things that angel investors should look out for in the founders, and what should the founders begin to build or increase upon. These conversations are not mine. I'm just hosting and inviting everyone to be part of the conversation. And graciously, we have all our guests in the house and our madam moderator. Madam moderator is in the building, and in a short while, she'll be joining us to move this conversation forward, introduce our guests, and we'll take it up from there. Um, we have an Odogu in the house with us. Is and it's not like my friend Uzo Arukwe will say, Odogu aboro guy name. Odogu is not guy name. Odogu is title you give to somebody who is really one who has done it, been there, seen it, and even has cars to show. So with us today, we do have a very key player in Africa's technology and even total entrepreneurial ecosystem in the studio sharing with us. I wouldn't be doing the introductions. Agnes will when the time is right. But then we also have joining us originally from the US, but we use bullets to stop our aeroplane from flying. So she's with us, stuck in Lagos, and she'll be also sharing with us with a really global outlook, like our other speaker, what founders should have, what we should look out for in them. It isn't my event I mentioned, or it is my event, but not my show. So I would right now bring to the podium with me the host. No, no, okay. I'm the host. She's the moderator of the event. Ladies and gentlemen, please, from Velaja Inc., I think you're going to tell us what that means. Um, Agnes Adebi, ladies and gentlemen. Agnes is co-founder of Velaja and a business development leader driving cross-border partnerships and strategic growth across Africa and Asia. And she was recently inducted into the community of the Lagos Angel Network, making her one of our own angel investors. So, ladies and gentlemen, joining me on stage now, Agnes, like my job say is Agnes. Welcome, Agnes. Great to have you here.
Thank you very much, Dr. King. Hi, everyone. My name is Agnes Adibi. And as Dr. King mentioned, well, villager means sailing. It just literally means moving from one place by water or by ship. And it's Portuguese. So it's just one of our
Okay,
ways.
so there you go. Agnes is from Portugal.
I mean, to be fair, it was supposed to be English, but we couldn't register with the English name. So Portuguese seemed like a name that we could use to register. So that's like the backstory.
Great, 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 great. All right. So I'd like to bring up, or maybe Agnes will do her job now whilst I run away. Agnes, what do you say?
I think you should do the introduction of the
I should do
speakers,
the introductions before I run
and then
away.
you can leave us to it. Yes.
Okay, okay. So my lady, our next guest is Ashley Barrett. Ashley is the founder and lead at the Blank Table Group, and she is an ecosystem builder and investor focused on connecting capital, founders, and insights across Africa and the diaspora to unlock high impact growth opportunities. She has been in Lagos for about a while now, say about almost a month. And in that period, she's written checks, she's had um, classes and courses, she's had several walks. She's gone into a Balinde market by herself, no security, nothing, just wanting to explore and understand the African ecosystem from the face of the market. And so it would be great to bring Ashley up now to tell us what she was doing inside the market. Hi, Ashley. Okay, Ashley, do we still have that sound challenge? You can hear me?
I think she's muted. I actually. Hi, I can hear you guys a little bit clear. Hi.
No. So the sound is too poor. We'll try to see if we can get that sorted. Okay. So whilst we wait for Ashley and the control room to fix her sound, I'd like to bring up the person I was talking about before, the the seniorest man, the Odogu of the senior Odogu, ladies and gentlemen, one of our own, former chairman of the Lagos Angel Network, um, somebody who's been in the technology play in Nigeria for over 3 decades. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Collins Onwegbo is a veteran technology leader for over 30 years with experience building and scaling enterprise technology companies across Africa. If you do a short Google check on him, you will see so much. You'll be wondering if it's one person's CV that this is. He's been driving digital transformations for large organizations across different countries in Africa and across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, soft spoken, easygoing, plenty money, investor par excellence. Yes, I'm saying plenty money for deliberate reasons now, senior. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Collins Onoibu.
I agree with
Thank you so
everything
much.
except the plenty money.
Sir,
I said I agree with everything except the plenty money.
leave the plenty money part. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us, sir. I'll leave you in the hands of Agnes shortly. I would suggest that you go on with the conversation. I think Ashley will join up as you go on.
All right, thank you, Dr. King. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Thank you for joining the Lunch and Learn today. Thank you, Mr. Collins, for being on the call with me. And, it's such an honor to be having this session with you. So pending the time Ashley joins the call, I will just start with the questioning, and you can help us with elaboration and give us more context based on your experience. And I think I'll start off with the question here that says, um, "What are the first founder signal you look for before you even open a pitch deck, or listen to a pitch?"
Um, Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Collins. Nice meeting you. I can't see the audience. Where's the audience?
Yeah, you too.
Okay, okay. Anyway, founders. Look, I'm a founder myself. I founded a company, and I've had experience of running my own company, and I've stayed in. I've not done a lot of pitching to people because, unfortunately, when I started my business, I didn't have Lagos Engineer Network, so there was nobody to pitch to. But these days, I think that the environment is much better. Most people who want to pitch have already met. They've heard about it and they understand and prepare for it very much. But as an investor, you a pitch deck is good. You can get a lot of tools these days to help make a very good pitch deck. But at that early stage, most times I found I'm looking at you. I want to understand who you are. I want to understand your background. I'm not sure, no matter what you write in your pitch deck, I want to see you and look at you and know who I'm investing in because, in a way, it's almost like giving somebody money to run a business for you, and you have to have look. It's mostly a matter of look and feel. You want to feel the person and know that this is somebody that looks credible. Looks can be deceptive sometimes, but also sometimes first impression counts a lot. A lot. So I think I'll leave it at that. I'm sure we'll have more questions that can elaborate on that. But that look and feel, sounding credible, looking credible, not overstating things, and just making a decent first impression is important.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you for that. Um, Ashley, are you back with us?
I should
Yes, we can hear you and it's clearer. Thank you. Yes, welcome back. Yeah. Okay. I would quickly ask an interception, a question that's like an interception. So would you say that's because you're angel investors, or it's like a general rule of investing, particularly when it comes to founders and businesses?
Look, in my business, I interview a lot of people. I'm hiring people. I'm hiring managers. I'm hiring junior people. It's something whenever you interview somebody, essentially try to hire the person, right? Whether you're hiring somebody who you're going to invest in, or you're hiring somebody who's going to work for you. I think it's more kind of general that whoever stays in front of you has to show some credibility. The good thing these days is that even before you come in front of me, there's a lot of tools to do background research. I look at your Facebook page, I look at your WhatsApp, I look at your WhatsApp status sometimes, I look at your LinkedIn page, I look for pictures of you everywhere. I see your back. So we leave a lot of footprint out there these days that before somebody comes and sees in front of you, you've done a bit of research already. Sometimes you're meeting the person helps validate what you've seen all over, maybe on the internet about the person. Uh, if it's somebody who has worked before, for instance, I want to see where you've worked before, what people you've held before. I know that we idolize the startup founder that left university and dropped out of college. But generally, a lot of times we find out a lot of founders, most founders have had some background before they started business. So looking at what they've done is also important.
Fantastic. Ashley, do you agree? I think people would like to hear your voice. I can hear you. Um,
Actually, stay with the audio. Just stay with only your phone.
okay. I think it's a little bit clearer from my end, though, but yeah. Okay.
Okay, so actually, this is what we will do. Log out totally out of the studio, then come in with only your phone. Leave the computer alone. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. King. In the meantime, I'm just going to move on to the next questions so that we cover a lot in the time that we have. So, I hear when you say that you have to meet the person, and also background checks before meeting the person is also important. But at the earliest stage, how do you decide whether you're backing the founder you're meeting or the person you're meeting, or maybe the idea that they're presenting to you, or the entire market they're representing? How do you make that decision? And you can walk us through how you've done that over the years.
I think the three things you mentioned are important: the founder, the market, the idea. They're all important in their own way. But remember that when a company is a startup, you're essentially investing in a future you don't know. Even the person sometimes doesn't know. It's just that his view of that future at the perfect moment is meeting you. So most times you have to have a good idea first of all, okay, or an idea that sounds credible in the
Yeah.
first place. Then is attacking a market that makes sense. A founder that knows the size of the market is attacking or is focusing on is helpful because you cannot be bigger than your market. So no matter how fantastic your idea is and you're attacking a niche market, that niche market is not going to grow bigger than because you entered there. And even if you are, sometimes I've seen people that found companies that even if they get 100% of the company, it's not going to give you back the money. It's not going to give you the returns you want, even if you invest in that business. So I think the market is also important. But ultimately, it's the founder who has to drive the idea. So if that founder you have to back the founder ultimately. The idea is good, the market is good, but the founder is the person who is going to drive that. If you look at the biggest industries in this world today, companies come in and fail in those industries still. It's not as if the market is not good. They are there, they're attacking in that market might be there. But if the founder doesn't know how to execute, doesn't do the lighting, is not a trustworthy person, does not understand how to run a business, no matter how good the idea is, the market is not going to work. So, as I said, all of them are important, but you are backing the founder at that point because you are backing a future that he doesn't know, you don't. I mean, he doesn't really know, you don't know. So you have to
Mm.
as much as possible.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Collins. Ashley, what would you say to that? If you're when you're investing at the earliest stage, how do you decide if you're supposed to back only the founder, or you're backing the idea, or you're backing, the entire market, and you're like, this is how I make my decision. So how do you decide that?
I think at the early stage, it's actually for me, it's mostly the founder and the problem they're solving, like if it's a real one.
Mm.
Because even if, yeah, they don't have the right solution at that point, that's okay. But yeah, it's really the character. Like I want to see integrity. I want to see like certain traits, your ability to be coached, feedback, how close you are to your users, right? I want to see just certain things. I've heard a lot of people in this ecosystem be like, "I'm solving for this group of people," and you could tell in like the next sentence they've never talked to them, and I'm like, "Okay, no, sorry." So that's big.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you for that. So, one thing I'm getting from both of you is that you would prioritize the founder and the solution, even if the solution is maybe not it at the moment, but as long as you have a passionate founder, you would back that person. Okay. Okay. Um,
I think that the idea she raised is important because you find a lot of good founders. A lot of times in their career, along the way, they change course. They are forced to pivot because
mhm.
what they thought they saw 2 years ago is no longer what is relevant. So that idea of pivoting is important. It's good to have an idea that sounds nice at the beginning, but down the line, you might find that the market is not ready, the environment is not ready, regulation is not ready, and you're kind of pushed to, or you get a mentor who mentors you probably and then tells you, yeah, this is working in this way, but you're a smart person. Perhaps if you do it this way, that's going to work. So I think she raised a valid point also.
Mm, okay. Okay. Thank you for that. So since we're focusing on founders, and um, every upcoming angel investor should also note that, when you're trying to invest, that the person makes the business. What qualities are non-negotiable? They like, to the core of, when we bring everything down to the core, what qualities are truly non-negotiable, for you, Mr. Collins, for example,
I
when
thought
you're
you were going to
investing?
start with Ashley this time.
Yeah, but Ashley was. Oh, okay, she's back. All right. Ashley, would you mind taking this?
The most important quality for me is integrity. Um, like full stop, like that, and that comes through. I think a little bit of time, but it's also why meeting in person is so important. And also, um, yeah, like transparency. If you're trying to hide things or like I don't know, that integrity is the most important for me. Again, I would say the second thing would be at the early stage bias towards action. It's another massive deficit I'm seeing here. Is like people are in my DMs asking for funding, and I ask them like three questions, and it's like clear they don't talk to their users, and they haven't maximized all the free things that they could have done. Yet you're asking for funding, and like the things that you need to actually go do are free. So that's I think it's knowing how you go.
Yes, I think the sound is squeaky again this time. But if I hear you correctly, and if you can tell me if I'm wrong or right, you're saying that you support founders that have integrity, transparency, and they have bias for actions, and they're not just there for the money. They are there to actually implement something. Right. All right.
Yes,
Thank you.
I don't think
All right. I will then move the question to Mr. Collins. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, the integrity is important at that early stage. As I said, they are investing in the future that we don't know, and you can talk about if we knew the person's background, and you can talk about track record. I mean, a few times you meet founders who have had track record, even if the person was working for somebody else. I want to see a track record where you worked, to know that you can execute on what you've been presented before. Once the integrity is important. As I said, even before you get to me, I would have looked at as much as possible, do a bit of research on you as much as possible. I also want to look around at the team which you're building. Sometimes a founder can come and already have, like for instance, co-founders. That profile will include everybody, including your co-founders. I want to see that that happens. I also sometimes want to look at simple things like the chemistry between co-founders. In the past, in Lagos Engine Network, I was once a couple of times I did matchmaking for founders that broke up. A lot of people, as you were about to invest, you invested, they break up because they didn't have chemistry. And once they break up, the business is dead in most cases. So you have to look at that. You have to look at the person's temperament and know whether the person has the temperament to run a business. As I said, it's mostly look and feel at that early stage. And then if you feel comfortable, you are essentially backing the founder, ultimately, you know that. So it's your interpretation of how credible he is or how trustworthy he is at that point. Um, we've seen people that you meet and then you want to invest that day, right? And then there's a more of that. But remember, in all this, despite all this, okay, um, there's so much you can do when you meet somebody initially. And there are people who, once the first money comes in, once the first check comes into their, get the first check from founders, their life changes, and then they start living a different kind of life. Uh, as much as you can do all the screening you want to do, you will expect that you're making your best bet, but not that ultimately startups are going to fail because some founders lost their way, because despite everything, the environment was not right, despite your own calculations or whatever else that can happen, economic risk and all those things.
All right. Thank you very much. So I from what you both are saying, given the environment that we operate in, I mean specifically in Nigeria, we have sometimes have limited data when it comes to the entire market, and sometimes you have to just do it yourself. And you're telling us that the best way forward is if it feels right, it's probably right, and if it feels off, it's probably off, right?
Yep.
Right.
If it's right, if it's right, yeah, you have to trust your guts at some point. And if it fails, you lick your wounds. That's all. That's the worst that can happen, right? Angel investing is not. I know that at the point in Lagos Angel Network, we used to go and recruit angels, and it was difficult to recruit angels because if you look at the risk of angel investing, it's quite high. It's not gambling, but it's near that because the failure rate is quite high. And the reason is not because, in fact, that the funders are not, it's not because they're bad. Sometimes the market can then get in trouble. Sometimes, as you say, you don't have enough data. Sometimes, as I said, maybe co-founders quarrel and then the thing goes bad. Or sometimes they get the first check and then they don't get checked down the way. There are too many things that can make a startup fail. So when you make a bet, it's just one of the components of that. And when you put money, you're putting it with your eyes open so that you don't feel bad when you build a portfolio. Some will do well, some will do badly, and you can't always blame the founders.
I see. I see. Ashley, do you have things to chip in before I move on to the next question? The next question sort of kind of buttress some. It's like an explanation to what you've said, and so please get ready to carry on. Um, so it's about red flags. When you were talking about the difference between passion and being thirsty as a founder. And I want to believe that some founders are tuned in right now and they just want to know if they're thirsty in terms of they're just desperate to raise money or to get money or to do something. And some of them are just passionate and some of them are probably confused right now. Okay, what's the difference? Am I being desperate or am I being passionate? Could you, keep, put difference, a clear difference between the two?
Am I going first? And can you hear me?
Yes, you're going first, but your volume is very, very low.
Oh no. Okay. Any better? No.
No.
Oh wait.
I think that when Ashley went into Obalinde market, she must have offended one woman. So the woman that she offended in that Obalinde market now is hunting her in this meeting today. Ashley, we
So
can't hear you.
Yeah, I think Mr.
And I'm
Collins
sure
can
that
hear
when you Americans are factoring your risk analysis, you don't analyze juju and age.
I think it's possibly the location because the networks in Lagos have been very terrible in the past.
that. Yeah, could
So
be. Could be.
I have to be sure I was in my office to be sure that I have fixed on.
I don't know. Yeah. Is it any better?
We
No.
can
Not
manage.
not really. I don't think people online would hear you clearly, but if you can raise your voice if you can.
I think there's something that is echoing in her background.
Yes, yes. I think that there's something with the device. All right. In the meantime, Mr. Collins, could you please take the question about red flags? What? Okay.
Uh,
Um, online people are saying they can't manage. So yes, Mr. Collins, we have you right now too.
that's too much pressure. Anyway, red flags. As I said, I want to look at if they're co-founders. I want to look at chemistry or look co-founders because you need them as stable partners on the long journey they're going for. Um, I want to look at. There was a point I actually made about some like sounding desperate or something. I think it's
Yes.
important that whoever is trying to raise money from is not focusing. So raising money is important, but raising money is to aid your building a business. I've seen founders who sometimes once they've started raising money, they think that the business is raising money instead of building the business. In Lagos and Angel Network at the beginning, one of the simple rules we made then was that we'll not invest in a company unless they made $1 of business. The dollar was symbolic because an idea, until somebody buys an idea, it's not really a business. A business. So we wanted to be sure that that person has tested the market and has got maybe one customer, even if the customer spent $1. That is important because a lot of ideas sound very good on paper and they're not in practical terms. You find that the market something is wrong with the market. So I think those are some of the red flags. Which other red flags can I think of now? Again, at the beginning, you're just looking at mostly the founder. So most of the red flag has to do with the founder. And I'll give you an instance. Somebody pitched to us once in Lagos and Network, by the way. And when he left, a lot of people complained about his dressing. Okay, and the feeling was that he was too expensive for the money he was pitching for. So you want to come and pitch for $10,000 and you're wearing $10,000 shoes. So why don't you sell your shoe and then use it to run your business? So you cannot be seen as if you need to look confident, but confident doesn't mean that you look too expensive. And I had this. There's one of the biggest fund managers in Nigeria. I flew with him. I was with him once. I was talking about a fund where he was at the back of the plane in economy, and the person that just speak to him before he went for the plane was sitting in business class. And when he was talking to him, the guy was talking about the Range Rover he was going to buy for his wife or something. And you're coming to raise money. I think lifestyle also matters. You cannot, if you have so much money, you can bootstrap as much as possible before you come to founders. But you cannot be coming to raise $10,000 and say you're desperate to get $10,000 from me, $100,000 from me, and your lifestyle says, if I give you this money, you're going to use it to buy your next car. You're going to use it to buy your next whatever. I,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wish I say, let me leave it at that.
I think that has been an issue for a while now, where founders raise and they squander it on personal lifestyle and things like that. However, as you said, some of the ways to note some of these things is gut feelings first, and then to also be sure if they have co-founders, if they have good chemistry and they have good understanding between themselves. It's a good thing. Ashley, are you with us?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Actually,
Oh, you're not yet with us.
thank you so much.
Oh,
I needed a partner. I needed a partner for this journey, and then
yes. I mean, you're putting a lot of weight on Mr. Collins right now. How do we do this? All
You
right.
can't hear me. You can't hear me at all.
I can hear you, but it's faint. It's like you're using a device and the mouthpiece is far away.
Oh man. Okay.
I think something is going.
I'm right up
Yeah.
against this. Is
Okay.
Once she comes
is it
on, we
is
start going.
I think it's good now.
is it better?
Try to.
It's better
Yes.
now.
It's better. Yes.
Okay. I was just clicking things on the settings, so hopefully.
Okay.
Um.
It's better.
Remind me of the question.
You were about to tell us the difference between desperation and being thirsty and being
Right.
passionate. Yes.
Passion is should be there. But yeah, raising before you've done work, it shouldn't be. I think that's the big difference is like
Hmm.
how well you know your users. It's very obvious like how easily you could speak to what you're solving.
Hmm.
Um, People lead with like their solution a lot, and like I someone sent me this whole long thing, this 9-page thing of his like grand master plan, and I was like, so what problem are you solving and for who? There's a again like and I also just think that thirsty energy is just that like I need money, like that, and I have a founder right now, Sophia, who he was like, money is the worst thing I could take from you right now. He's like, you told me so, like you've said the things that no one else has said, and like, cause I went in with him. I was like, you need to focus. You need to cut the crap, like all these things. So I'm like, you have it. But you need to like focus. And he was like, yeah, because I was gonna help him with just us doing a little test, and he was like, no. He's like, that's not what I want from you. So it is understanding that there's so many things that are more valuable than money.
Yeah.
And I specifically did a test. I did a proof lab for me, and part of the experiment was I gave them all $1,000 to go blow in a week with structure, and none of them. The test for me was, do you really need money? You guys say you need money, you need this, you need that. Um, they didn't, none of them used the full 1,000, and that said everything it needed to. And I know they struggled to, but yet you're asking for 500,000. So that's where I'm like, you don't need. A lot of times, it's they need access. They need to go do work. They need to go test their thing on a really really small scale, right? You have WhatsApp. Majority of your market lives on WhatsApp. Majority of Lagos lives on WhatsApp. So if you can build some type of service on there and test it there, there's no reason for you not to have done that. So that's my difference. Is like you see a hunger that's I've done the things, or I'm doing the things, or I'm taking the feedback. I'm not just here just asking for a handout.
All right. Thank you for that. So I'll try to summarize what both of you are saying, and if I'm wrong, kind of correct me. So you're saying that Mr. Collins mentioned that you try to bootstrap as much as you can as a founder, and as an angel, you have to look for that energy and that passion in that person to say, this is what I've done with the little resources that I have. However, this is what I need going forward. Right. Thank you for that. In the case of what you just said, Ashley, about sometimes some founders do not need money, and as angel investors, how do you know when it is mentorship you should give this person, or some advice, or just take out time to consult for them and say, this is what you need, this is what you have to do. You actually do not need money yet. Once you have all these things in place, then it's easier for you to raise money. So how does an angel investor do that without being a snob to founders?
Am I
Okay.
answering? Okay. Um, I have I think being brutally honest is actually like water to a desert here. Like I don't think people see it as being snobby when I'm like, you need this, 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 and this. They're actually like, thank you, because like they're not getting that, and it's clear because they're all coming back and like, what about now? And so it's like they're willing to do the work, but for example, this one waste management um, solution that's being built, they were introduced to me by someone well known in the ecosystem, that and like introduced as, oh, these are great founders, and they're working on great things, and then it's like, oh, yeah, no, you guys have talked to one B business and you're B2B, that you think will kind of use your product, and you haven't tested it, you haven't talked to more, and you've already built the solution because you guys are engineers. And I'm like, what? And but this is what was being pushed to me by someone else as, hey, go look at what they're doing, right? So there's like a lack of like, I don't know, quality, or a lack of I think it's the same thing in America too, but not usually at the early stage, where it's like, okay, that's nice, awesome, and instead of being like, no, this is not okay, like you don't know anything about anything, and like go figure that out. And it's really, I won't say I'm snobby, but I'm definitely direct, and I'm not for everybody. And I feel like I learned that from Mark Cuban, of like, he's like, I'm an email person. I don't do calls. Like, if you need an investor that does meetings and calls, like, go get that. But every investor, just like every person, gets to decide how they run. And like, I want high quality. I want you to know if my stamp is on it, especially because I'm trying to facilitate deal flow from here to back to Miami and New York. I want you to know if my name is on it, you should be looking.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to ever like falter on like, ew, why did Ashley invest in that? Like, no, no, no. I want you to know that a founder coming from me is like, nah, they got it.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Thank you for that, Ashley. Mr. Collins, what would you have to say about that?
I think as a professional angel, first of all, as an angel investor, you have to be educated about investing, and I think that's very important because a lot of people are saying that the angel investors is without some bit of training. Part of what we try to do in LAM before was to put a formal process to angel investing so that you can get some skills. In the early days, I remember that we even went to, remember once we went to, when we told me to Netherlands, and we went to university and spent 2 days, spent it with the European Business Angel Network, learning how to invest. I think that's important. That education is important. I'm happy that LAN keeps doing education for those who have joined the network. That's important because an angel investor offers three things. Money is just one third of that. You offer money, you offer mentoring, you offer access. That access is because of the experience. Look, I've seen people today who come to me. The best thing I can offer them is actually not money. It's just access because maybe they're in the business. I've been around for a long time. I run an enterprise business, and in the past 30 years, my company has served most of the enterprise organizations in Nigeria and many parts of Africa. And coming to me alone kind of gives you some bit of access to that. If you have a product, you can feed that market. This, as I said, the second one is mentoring. Again, most angels have business behind their back. They work, they run companies, and you are just starting. So having a patience to look for those who can help you, offer you advice, offer you mentoring, that's also important. Money is just the third one. So I've seen some smart startups who say, I want this person to be my advisor, but the only way you can be my advisor is that I need him on my capital. And when you're doing that kind of pitching, you're not doing a pitch as if you you overprice yourself because it's again investors don't have a lot of money, but they can offer you more things. So balancing that and making sure that it's not just money you're looking for, and as an angel, you're offering more than just money.
Mm,
Now, I know that raising money has become fashionable. So sometimes startups today feel that the way to validate their business is because they raise money. I think that is very wrong. Okay. I was impressed with the founder we once pursued again in Lagos and Network and was so desperate to sign her up. And she was clear that she was making money that she didn't really need us. And so what else can we offer her?
mm,
In the end, we couldn't offer her anything. She didn't take the money. So I think seeing founders who are not desperate to get money, but see other things that as equally important is also good.
mm. That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Ashley and Mr. Collins. So when we say three things angel investors give, it's coaching or mentorship, access, and then money. Um, when in trying to explain what the mentorship, looks like, how do you assess the teachability of the founder or coachability without confusing it with indecision and lack of conviction? Because sometimes some founders like, oh, we need this. And I'm also saying this from a research I personally did sometimes last year. And I found that there are some startups who feel like once they're trying to get mentorship and not money, they have a situation where everybody wants to pull them in different directions. So, how do you then assess if this founder knows what they're doing, in terms of can they be teachable, or they just have indecision and lack of conviction, so you don't want to work with? How do you assess that as an angel investor? I will start with Ashley. Mr. Collins has tried. So far, so good. uh, Ashley, please.
Do you want to go first, Collins? I'll come to
Okay,
that.
maybe I'll go. Look, there's a thin line between mentoring and um, guiding somebody in the wrong direction. Okay, I think this one is on the side of angels to ensure that while they are mentoring, they're careful about. You're not there to change. Somebody says, I'm going on a particular journey. Can you follow me on that journey? Your job is not to mentor him and say, don't go on this journey. Follow my own journey. That is very, very wrong. And by the way, we've seen that done. Okay, where people think that part of their mentoring is to direct somebody else somewhere else.
Mm,
Okay, you are investing in the person's idea. You like the idea. You can provide guidance on how to get to that destination, but don't halfway. If the person decides that look, I found out that the decision I'm going to is wrong, and you already backed the person, you can help that person and make that journey to where else he thinks he wants to go. But once as an NJ, you start thinking that you know more than him, you know the market more than him, and then you must force him to go in your direction. That's not mentoring.
mm,
Okay. But having said that, it's also important, even in the matchmaking process, between the time you are evaluating the founder to invest. I think both of you should find out whether you can. The founder has to be careful that He doesn't take an angel that is badgering him in a direction he doesn't want. Because unless they're desperate for money, sometimes at the point the founder is, he's so desperate for money that he takes it from everybody. But
Hmm.
there are certain people you should not take money from. Okay? And then during that process also, if I'm the person investing and I feel that this person, even if I'm not trying to change the direction, that he doesn't listen, he's so fixed in his ways and this is what he wants to do, doesn't listen to anybody. Now, in the first place, if such a person has possibly co-founders, as an example, right?
Yeah.
You find that if he's not listening to you, he's also not listening to his co-founders, he's not listening to his team,
Yeah.
and such a person, I don't think can offer too much value. You just pray that when you give him money, he succeeds, whether you talk to him or not.
Mm,
But it's a red flag also.
I see. I see. I see. Ashley, thank you for that, Mr. Collins.
I would agree. I think I first of all, I 100% agree with not all money's good money. So you always take that. But at the early stage, I think what I'm also looking at is your decision making ability. That's like half of life is, I have a what I see as a team of advisors always. I think that's important too. And um, it's a relationship. You should be vetting on both sides. It's just like going to an interview, right? I don't just, you should be asking me questions like what I value, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's a
Yeah.
relationship, and see if I am worthy of what you are building, because I might not be the right one for you. Absolutely. And so you have to have that discernment, right? And I am a very direct person, so I could be like, I think this way is crap. I think we should go that way. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, like what I love is, for example, with this one founder I'm mentoring, he'll be like, Ma, I heard you, but you don't understand this, 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 and this. And like,
Okay.
you don't understand this, this, and this. And then I'm like, okay, that's fair. Like, you have like Legos context. I don't.
Yeah.
And so I need someone that's able to push back, right? And yeah, vet me as well. Like, is if I'm your partner. So your decision making ability is paramount at the early stage, because you are going to have five people telling you different things, and you are the one that needs to sit back and be like, okay, this makes sense, and make the final decision, right? So
I think I would piggyback on that and then ask you this particular question about corporate governance and the idea of um, being careful of who funds you. So when founders are trying to raise money, some of them have it at the back of the mind that wherever the money comes from is where they're going to. And you just said not all money is good money, but some of them are so like, oh, as long as I have the money, I can always get this done as quick as possible. And there is also that notion of whoever gives the money controls the business sometimes. So um and that also sometimes give a pseudo corporate governance framework for the business or for the startup. So how do you advise angels to go when it comes to that corporate governance aspect of the business? Should they take it full on because they're investing, or should they just take a more passive role and just ensure that their investment is going in the right direction?
I think it completely depends on the invest that relationship again, and it depends on. I don't know if you've ever done these like how I work templates where you fill out like the times you actually like to have meetings, and I do that for myself.
Yeah.
It's the same thing of like, as a the other thing I see is like early stage founders, they'll just shoot for everybody, right? Instead of being like, this is what I want in an investor. I want someone
Mhm.
who's going to mentor me. I want someone who is going to be on my ass and like gonna like be like asking questions and recommending things.
Yeah.
But then you have people that are like, no, I want people to trust me and know and just give me the money and like the support, and I will give the
Yeah.
that's the thing is, I'll give the transparency that they
Mhm.
need, and like whatever they need to know that they've made a good investment, or that I'm not just running off on the money. So those are the two things I would say. And then I would also say personally, like, I want to trust your decision making and critical thinking skills. I want to trust that whatever we're going to make a very clear agreement, like before we do business together. I see everything as just doing business together. And it is, hey, maybe it's every 2 weeks. I want an update, and these are the things that I'm looking at, and maybe it's a 10-minute stand up or what have you. But we decide that together. And then the second thing I would say is there's this notion that this like venture money or is like just free money, and so the whole not all money is good money is like it comes with strings, and that strings is a person that just gave you money willy-nilly to go spend on your baby. And so if you think that that's doesn't hold gravity, like again, there's sharky people out there, and I also think that where I say not all money is good money, there's a lot of predatory like deals, right? That you might take only 5 grand and you have given away a ton of equity, and then you have nothing. Like, yeah, so you really need to know the business and yeah, that stuff.
Thank you for that. Before Mr. Collins says something, Dr. King, do you have something for us? I think
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
muted.
yeah, muted, I think.
Oh, I came to announce to you people that we will soon pursue you from our stage.
Yeah, okay.
We're just getting started. Why to train us away?
We are having so much fun understanding, how things work from experienced people and people. So please give us some time. Thank you.
Yeah, so you do have some time, except that that some time is just 4 minutes more, and
I see.
then we will take, because we kept going back and forth trying to plead with the gods to forgive Ashley for disrespecting them when she came into the town. But yeah, but we do have pitches that we must take, and so it's important that we make some time for those. We're very grateful. Please don't mistake that. We're very grateful for the insights being shared, but we must manage our time. So you have till about another 6 minutes. So I'm out of
Oh,
here.
thank you. Because I
Thank
was
you very
about to say you've taken
thank you
1 minute out of our time.
thank
Thank
you very
you. All right. So I would just quickly run through mistakes you think angels make. What are the common mistakes you've seen over time? This not founders, this particularly to angels. What mistakes do they do when they evaluate founders in their early stage? And how do they, avoid those mistakes? I would start with Mr. Collins this time.
well. As an angel, I've made a lot of mistakes, of course, and I've paid the dues for that. Um, I think first of all is to avoid getting lost with the story. There's so many good stories out there, and you can get lost in that story, and you forget your proper due diligence, and then you invest emotionally. Okay, I think that's a common mistake. Um, you the other mistakes you can make is uh, sometimes like follow. I don't know the word to use now, because other people have invested and then you just jump in because other people have invested. That those people essentially allowing other people to do due diligence for you, and you trust in their judgment. It's like when I actually mentioned that somebody says, "Ah, I know this guy. He's doing a lot of great work," and then you find that the person really hasn't done much. Okay, I think it's important that when you are getting referrals from people, either because people have invested before, you try as much as possible to do your own due diligence, because when it fails, you only have yourself to trust to blame, not because somebody else invested. I will let Ashley get on with. I'm sure she has on those one.
Yeah, I can see her nodding.
Please
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'm plus oneing on the due diligence. Like, do your own vetting. I saw a post recently where someone was like, "Oh, they introduced someone that to an investor. The investor ended up investing 2 million, and then everything failed a few months later, and he feels like it's on the introducer." And I'm like, it's at the end of the day, who wired the money? It's the investor. Like, throw some accountability that way. At the beginning, you're going to make mistakes. It's not safe investment. That's why angel investing needs to kind of come like last, right? After you have like all the other safer investments. And so it's risky, and you need to know that. But and people have given me a lot of slack for this in the market. I come from an M&A background. I come from big deals and major transactions, and I'm on the due diligence side, and I don't play around. If you're calling me for due diligence, it's because there's something funky, and like you want me to say it because you don't want to say it. Like literally, that's how I used to get paid. Is because people would be scared to say I wouldn't invest or I wouldn't acquire this company, and I'd be like, you'd be crazy to do that. I run a tight ship, and due diligence is huge for me. And so, like, yeah, like I do think doing your own, and no matter where it comes from or who they're funded by, no matter how many times they've made a deal before, that's been great. You gotta also trust you have a gut too, like you have an intuition and a God or whatever you serve. So it's like I don't know, I tap into my spiritual too, a lot in this of like, hey, is so I think that due diligence is huge and your own intuition.
I see. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And before we take the last questions, because we are crunch on time, I want to say that you mentioned something about storytelling, and I also want to elaborate on that for angels that are listening. Mr. Collins said there are so many good stories out there, and you can find yourself investing emotionally rather than doing the actual due diligence that is necessary for the deals. So please, um, how do we say guard yourself emotionally when you're listening to some of the story, you know, and have a mindset like a guard up front. So I would say I would want to ask, how do you have those type of guards before you listen to people? But if you can answer both questions, because someone else is asking, speaking of equity, please throw some light on how early stage founders should take caution of how early stage founders should take caution of towards the percentage part. I'm guessing the person is asking how founders give away their equity to angels. So
Maybe I'll take the second one, and actually you take the first one, the one about them.
fantastic.
On the issue around percentage, I think as a founder, you have to be careful that you don't give out too much equity too early. Again, professional angels understand that you are not there. It's not about the percentage you take, but what you make along the way, and knowing that when you invest as an angel, you are aware that your exit will come because mostly because other people invested down the chain. So if you dilute the founder too fast, one private equity, by the time he gets to private equity, all those rounds he's going to get to, they've diluted him so much, he now becomes like an employee working for you. That doesn't pay anybody. So it's important that angels, if you want to get specific numbers, maybe after this you can ask for it, but as much as possible, don't give out too much too early. You can get advice. If you search these days online, you can find out what is advised at early stage. Because once you're working on and start talking to angels, it's a long journey of meeting different classes of investors in that journey. And each person will take equity. So just make sure that you don't give up too much too early.
Thank you very much, Mr. Collins. Ashley?
Okay, I'll make this really quick. The storytelling,
Yes.
and not getting caught up in the stories. I am someone who is definitely an emotional human, and I love a good story. But I think what will always keep you is taking time, right? I don't want to be rushed into anything. Like, and if I feel like when things feel off, it's usually because I'm like, oh, they're rushing me. I don't want to be rushed. Like, or I don't want this. But the second thing is you can emotionally stimulate me. I've had multiple founders or their stories stimulate me. It doesn't mean I don't run it through the same framework and values of like, are you coachable? Do you have the things? Like, you still have to have the diligence piece. It doesn't. Yeah, it needs to be both. All right, I'm done. Sorry.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Your voice, went on, but I think I was able to catch that you were saying that you should take your time, even if you're emotional about the investment or the deals that is on your table. Take your time and run it through the frameworks that you already have penned down, and that would save you from, emotionally investing in things. And as our speakers have said, this is a long-term relationship. You should see it as that, and you should be able to ask questions as much as possible. So I will leave this to Dr. King to continue the session. Thank you so much, Mr. Collins, for joining the call. Thank you so much, Ashley, for joining us and making it work. It's so nice to see
Thank you.
you
So
back.
sorry.
It's fine. We're
Uh,
grateful to Mr. Collins and Ashley, and of course to your good self, Agnes, for driving the conversation this far. There's been a lot of learnings. I'm hoping that everyone on each side of the divide is has taken the necessary lessons that there are. For founders, don't give up too much too soon. Not everybody should be on your cap table. Not everybody has your interest at heart. Not everybody is good for you. And for angels, be mindful of a good story. Be mindful of stories that sound super good. Do your own due diligence. Interestingly, at the Lagos Angel Network, we will do a level of due diligence for you, very thorough. But even at that, we still miss some things. And that's why your intuition, your experience, your competence needs to still come to play. So when we send you the due diligence reports and the decks that go, we expect that you don't just imagine that we've done everything totally. We want you to check. Even the reports we send to you, we want you to look through before wiring the money. And Ashley said something really critical. She said, in the end, it's not who did the report, who did the introduction. It is who wired the money that is the major issue. And there's been so much to learn. This is going to be available for replay on the Lagos Angel Network YouTube channel. And so you can go over this from the start again and re listen. I think, Agnes, you've done a fantastic job moderating and giving me a lot of breather. I am grateful. And also, would like to thank Ashley, who, despite the challenges, has refused to give up and has shown the resilience of a true Lagos girl. And we're grateful for the wealth of experience easily shared by Mr. Collins Onoibo. Thank you, Senior. Thank you, sir. All right. Um, we move this program forward with a word from our sponsors. Joseph, if you're ready, please let's hear from the guys at ProDevs who's helping this streaming happen and making sure that we have people from Sweden, US, Germany, everywhere across the world joining this meeting that is being streamed out of Lagos, Nigeria. Joseph, if you're ready, take us all out of the screen and show us the ProDev message.
At Prodes, we specialize in connecting businesses with top African tech talents. Be you a startup or a corporate company, whatever your hiring needs are, Prodevs is the place for you.
Outsourcing with Prodevs means you get access to a global pool of highly vetted tech talent. From developers to designers to product people to data analysts, we ensure that the right and the best talents are working on your team and for you.
Looking for permanent hires? Our recruitment team is designed to match you with the top talents quickly and efficiently. We take care of the heavy lifting, from vetting candidates to getting the right cultural fit, so you get the best, faster and quicker.
Outsource the right tech talents, recruit the best fits.
Find your next tech hire with Prodevs.
We make tech recruitment simple, fast and efficient.
Thank you. I think that we can release Mr. Collins, Agnes, and Ashley. I will take it up from here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Now we will go to a very important part of this conversation. We would listen to the pitches from the startups, the deals that we're considering. But before then, I'd like to mention that the Lagos Angel Fellowship is open for registration. This fellowship is proudly supported by the Netherlands Enterprise Agency, and they've been gracious enough to ensure that everyone in this cohort who registers is paid for. It's normally will be at a $500 per head for the 6 weeks course, but it is now subsidized and totally paid for by the Netherlands Enterprise Agency. And that's the link up there, lagosangelnetwork.net/land fellowship. In fact, if you just Google land fellowship or Lagos Angel Fellowship, you will find this there. Applications are open now. They're open up until the 27th of February. It'll be good for you to take advantage. So we move forward now to listening to some great guys with some amazing businesses that they are building. And yeah, before we do that, I can see on the screen the guys from First Founders who are also the co sponsors of this event today. First Founders is a venture studio. They work with startups and work with them from ideation up to Series A, I believe. And more recently, Terra Ventures, I think Terra Industries, one of that, the drone guys were products of the First Founders venture studio. So if you're a startup here or even an investor, you're thinking for a studio, a venture studio to support, we would urge that you meet our friends at First Founders. All right, without much ado, please, Joseph, can you key in the gentleman from Solar Corp, Stephen? You can turn on your video now. All right. Joseph, you can put him on the screen with me. Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Dr. Solomon.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Good
You
afternoon.
have an audience. You have an audience of angel investors, both in Nigeria and across the diaspora, listening to you right now. They want to know what you're doing and what you're building. I don't know if you're sharing screen or otherwise, but I'm going to get out of your face now, and then for the next 5 minutes, you tell the world what to expect from you.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephen Oyekomi. I'm the co-founder CEO of Solar Corp. Thank you for this opportunity to present what we're building. Um, just a quick story. I grew up watching my families and I grew up watching my dad's business suffer from electricity, and his factory had to shut down because um, the rising price of fuel, which really affected his business. And one of the things that I saw then was an opportunity for him to switch to solar. He consistently spent a lot of money buying diesel, but anytime he goes to the bank, there is always the requirement of, bring this, bring collateral, which eventually he could not provide all of that. And one thing led to the other. He started spending about 40% of his revenue on, buying diesel. And at the end of the day, it's ate into his margin and the business shut down. And this is the reality that a lot of businesses in Africa, in Nigeria, really face. Um, there is no affordable pathway to solar ownership. So, pretty much, what have we built? We've seen an insight that you people that already spend on fuel can easily convert their energy fuel spend. They can channel that into owning solar assets. So for us, we went through a lot of iteration. We gathered a lot of customers' feedback, and one thing stood out that the cultural saving trait of Africans, of Nigerians, would always be there to acquire any assets. So we built a platform that lets people save towards owning solar assets. Um, they get to save up to 50% of the product price, and they unlock interest-free financing, and they're able to spread the remaining balance across 3 to 9 months. And this model has actually worked, and we've been able to help over 100 businesses and families actually switch to solar just within the few months we launched. Currently, we have 2,000 users saving towards solar, owning solar. But it's not just the savings for us; it's basically the credit infrastructure we are building behind that. We are converting this disciplined savings into credit profile for people to not just save for solar, but to also access other incredible productive assets. And today, we are generating $7,000 in monthly recurring revenue. We're growing by 15% month on month. Um, we've got distribution partnership with MTN, Momo PSB, and we also have some digital channels where we distribute these products. And today, we also have over 70 agents actually pushing this product in grassroots areas. We have customers like supermarkets, we have customers like barbers actually using this product. And one thing stood out from this business is that people would always go back to the way they actually, acquire products, which is savings. So our goal over the next 5 years is to help 140 million Nigerian businesses switch to solar, helping them build credit profile while also achieving that such that they can be able to unlock other productive assets like solar fridge, solar fan, and other productive assets. So pretty much this is what we're building at Solar Corp. I'm going to stop there for any question.
Thank you. What would normally happen would be questions coming in from the house, but we'll look through. Joseph, please check if we do have questions from any of the angels at the moment. If we don't have a question for you, this is just an introductory pitch of a sort. We will get the angels to vote to have meetings with you. And so we would have a deep dive session where you would do a more elaborate pitch and answer a more rigorous question session. So we will just hold up to see if we can get any other questions. If not, we will take you out of the screen for now, hoping that questions are coming in from the group or the live chat. We don't find any yet. We can then release you. Okay, but whilst we're doing that, you won the mentor pitch event last year. What was that about?
Okay, so Mentor Pitch program is a program that prepares founders for investment readiness, um, pretty much helping us put our data room in order, gathering all the evidences from our customers, um, from our employees, and pretty much validating some of the claims that we had said when we approached investors. So it's a program that's really helped us prepare us, and
How
we're
much are you raising?
okay. We are raising $100,000, and we've closed out half of that, 50,000. Yeah.
Okay. Um, and 100,000 is helping you achieve what? What are you doing with the 100,000?
Okay, so the 100,000 basically is for optimizing our products, launching our mobile application,
Your
and
your app is not ready yet.
yes, our app is not ready. We currently use the web application to sign up customers to create a
Okay.
wallet.
Okay. So
So
you're working with a mobile app.
yeah, migrating to mobile app, then also building our distribution channel. Then we also have like a capital provider, First Ally MFB. They are the one like holding on to all the customer savings, and they are also providing inventory, financing up to the tune of 1 billion.
All right, great. So, Steven from Solar Cup, thank you for joining us. We will be circulating your deck amongst the angels and excerpts on this video. Certainly, we would also have a number of angels throwing their questions, and so we would invite you subsequently for a deep dive session with the angels. In the meantime, do have a great, fantastic day. Joseph, can we get Adiola of Adiola of Middleman to join us now? Please let them know that they can share their screen if they need to for the sake of their pitches.
Yes, I'm here now. Can you confirm that you can hear me?
We can't see you. We have to.
Okay. Yes, yes,
How do
yes.
you pitch? How do you pitch in the dark? Are
No,
you
no, no,
Joseph?
I'm here now.
Joseph?
I was trying to put my screen up first. Uh, Please give me a minute to get my screen up.
So you have 5 minutes, and that time is counting already.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adiola, and I'm co-founder and CEO at Middleman, where we help African businesses source goods from Asia's markets more intelligently and efficiently.
Are you
The
sharing
Middleman
your?
journey started. No, not yet.
Do you want to share your screen?
I figured I could just continue pending. Yes, I would like to share it.
So do that now. If we see your
Okay,
screen, studio will put it up.
okay. I'm using two screens, so I'm having a little bit of. Let's give it a minute.
All right, maybe you go on without it.
Yes, perhaps. Yes, I'll just go on without it. I'm so sorry, I'm not able to get it up. Yes, I was saying that at Middleman, we help African businesses source goods from China's markets more intelligently and efficiently. And the Middleman journey started as far back as 2018 when Omilara and I jointly started importing skincare products from China. And it was exciting at first, ordering just a few hundred items, but once started to scale to 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 customized items of various sizes and specifications, we started to struggle, right? And this story is common for many African businesses because sourcing goods in bulk from China and other Asian markets is a completely different ball game that goes beyond conventional add to cart and checkout buttons. It is one that requires a lot of trust, a lot of attention to Mandarin translations, and a lot of patience also with payments and logistics. Yeah, so and the stress and risks of all of this is very real for millions of African businesses, and that's why many of these businesses turn to informal diaspora procurement agents to source goods from China and other markets like that. So, out of our own frustration with this largely informal system, Omlara and I started to build Middleman in 2023. And today, Middleman is that one seamless platform that organizes China Africa procurement into one very easy and smooth workflow. So, today, with Middleman, businesses trading with China can access some of China's biggest B2B marketplaces like 1688, Taobao, Pinduoduo, without any form of language and translation barriers. They can connect with vetted diaspora procurement agents, on ground in China, who are physically present and able to, run errands, negotiate deals, and ensure quality control. They can also send yuan payments. We built payment rails that allows them to send yuan payments from local currency to suppliers in minutes. And excitingly, they can also source goods more intelligently and calculate and do all of the calculations with Middleman AI. That's our proprietary AI sourcing assistant. But we are more than a trading platform. Middleman is also an infrastructure play because our work platforms Nigeria's informal diaspora agents network in China, and we believe that these cultural bridges have powered Africa-China trade for decades. And by organizing this economy, we help Africa capture more value from its human capital. Whilst turning procurement agents into empowered partners, and African businesses into global traders or global players, right? So and beyond that, we are also building the trust infrastructure for Africa's global trade. We think that that we Africa trade with China, China, the really big platforms that Africa trade with China, has to evolve such that it is culturally rooted. It is rooted in our cultural context, because of the low trust and society that we live in. And these are the changes that this is the change that we are looking to make in the world. The market is really huge. Africa China trade eats about $296 billion in 2024 and about 348 in 2025. And Nigeria is one of China's top players trading about 25 billion as of last year. We have already processed about 2 billion naira in transactions. We've grown to 14,000 users, and we've also launched our AI assistant assistant. And of course, we also earned some backing from Google when we got into the GSFA accelerator program last year. Today we are raising 250,000 USD to expand our agent network and to go fully mobile with our procurement service, and also to establish our operations fully in China. Yeah, and we look forward to having you back our work.
Thank you, Adeola, for that. It was right on time. You used 5 minutes well. I can see that you've been in one accelerator program or the other, and so you have learned how to say everything you want to say in 5 minutes. We hope we do get some questions from the angels right now, but if we don't, your deck and this video will be circulated to them, and we'll surely do get some more questions from them in the shortest, soonest soon, and we'll engage more formally. You will be invited to a deep dive session, which will be a more closed room, not something this public, but a more closed room where the angels will drill and grill and ask a lot more questions about what you're building. But in the meantime, we will let you go. Joseph, hoping that there's no question anywhere in the group or in the live chat. Anyone for him? What was that thing you people won the other day? Something about one competition that you won. I think I saw that in the news. Adiola.
Oh, okay. That might be the Aurora Fellowship, but the finals are not out yet. It was
No,
semi-finals.
so there was this something about startup grind. That one, the Lagos startup grind.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I
What year?
mean, we won a couple of those. We won a couple of those in 2024, and also and some last year. We
So
won
yeah,
Zenith. We won Zenith Bank's hackathon also. We
how much did they give
won.
you in Zenith Bank hackathon? When Zenith Bank calls you, you don't need money again.
It goes 10 million naira.
Ah, okay. You have hammered now. All right, Adiola, we will be in touch and then keep building and keep doing the great work. The angels will reach you and we'll take it up from there. Thanks for coming through.
All right.
All right, finally, we will take before we run away tonight. Today, this is still afternoon. The gentleman from Velex, Kunle Babajide, his video is out. I don't know where he is. Kunle, are you there?
Yes, I am.
We can't see you.
Hi,
Hello?
everyone.
Fantastic. Would you want to share your screen?
No, no, not
Okay.
right now.
All right, great. Um, the whole community is watching and listening to you. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. My name is Kule Babajide, and I'm co-founder at Velex. Velex is a debt management solution that helps banks, lenders, small businesses to get debt investments and also reach out to investment that investors that can buy off those debts as well. So we are currently raising 200K uh, pounds in investment for our initial stage. And what we're trying to do at this level, at this stage, is product launch, also a credit fund, and also bank partnerships. We currently have a few of those partnerships, one with a very top credit rating agency, another with a commercial law firm here in Nigeria. And also, we have some partnerships with some major microfinance institutions as well. We also have a partnership with Innovate UK. We're on the Innovate UK program. And also, um, some members of our team also bring in a wealth of experience, a lot of years of experience in banking, to FMCG, in tech, and also in law as well. So we are here currently at Lagos Angels Network to uh, seek investments and also partnerships. Those are the two main goals that we have currently.
All
And I
right.
would like to take questions.
Yeah. So, quick question for you. Is the is this a software as a service? Is this how many users do you have? Do you is the product live? Are you making money yet? Talk to us about it.
No, this is pre-revenue. That's why it's very early. Ultimately, when we get live, we might not be taking more investments because we are primarily looking at bank partnerships. And of course, banks always like to go all in. So we have a couple of them that we have spoken with who are looking forward to our product launch.
Great. I will look through the group, hoping that there'll be questions. If they do come through whilst you're here, you take them. If not, you will be invited into the coven, the place that is
I
yes.
look forward to it. I look
Yes, so
forward to it.
you be invited into the coven, and then the okay, it's not even coven, it's heaven because angels usually stay in heaven. So, you'll be invited through, and there will be a deep dive session where members will, you know, get to know more about the business, and that would either elicit commitment or otherwise. But I am grateful that you came through. I wish that you had been a bit more elaborate in your presentation, but hey, all things work together for good. Thank you for coming through. We'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Alrighty. Okay, so that brings us to the. I thought I had a producer on this. Thank you. That brings us to the end of today's Lunch and Learn. Thank you, everyone, for coming through. We're grateful for all of your participation. I can see that in the chat room, live chat room, there is a full mentorship session going on there. Ashley's to continue with the questions and the answering, and I'm grateful for the level of engagement. We like to say thank you to all our partners, especially FDN Advisory, Pro Devs, and First Founders who made today's event possible. We also like to thank our guest speakers, Mr. Collins Onuebu and Ashley Barrett, and our moderator in chief of Africa, um, Agnes Adebi of Velager. We'd like to thank all our angels who's joined us in the program today and every founder who, one way or the other, the Lagos Angel Network has touched. We're grateful for all of your support. Please keep supporting the Lagos Angel Network. We would like more and more people to become angels so that we can provide support for these amazing startups. We're grateful to the startups who showed up to pitch to us today. Stephen and the guys from Solar Cup, Mr. Babajide Kunle, who represents Velex, and of course, Adeola and Omolara of the fantastic business Middleman. Till I come your way or we come your way again sometime next month, please be on the lookout for several things that we're doing at the Lagos Angel Network. If you like to be an angel, I would advise you personally to join us at the Lagos Angel Fellowship. It is funded, fully funded with the support of the Netherlands government. It only requires you to be a member of the Lagos Angel Network. So you may want to work with us on that. Just please put up that link again for the fellowship. And thank you to all our angels who's supported us so far. Yeah, so that's the link for the fellowship. Please screen grab it, screenshot or something, and then or just type it, Land Fellowship on your browser, and it will pop out. So we'll come your way again. Let's have a great, fantastic day. Thank you.